I really enjoyed this opportunity to talk with my administrator about the Kesa process that just kind of got started. Um, Found it really valuable. It turns out that we have slightly different leadership styles, whereas I'm more of a servant leader. He is more of a top-down, not quite authoritarian, but more of kind of a coach. Um, Leadership style. So that was just kind of really interesting being able to interact with someone and kind of see our leadership styles as differing, but kind of see the positives in both. So as far as where our school is at in the CASA process, um, as far as relationships goes, this is where we're strongest. We're somewhere between transitioning and modeling on almost all the points. That's where a lot of our focus has been within, at least in our building. Um, we do collaboration well. Um, our staff is pretty much all transitioning modeling. Um, Students solidly transitioning. Families, I think of the four, this is where we're weakest. We're implementing transitioning. Um, on the most part, for a vision, we're transitioning modeling. Um, our where we kind of fall a little short is evaluation of family engagement. Um, so we are solidly implementing there, uh, working towards transitioning. Um, so that's kind of where we're at as far as the relationships component. Like I said, this is where we're strongest. Where there are a few items where I could say we're probably almost modeling. As far as relevance goes, this is where we're doing a lot of our work the past few years. My district has been implementing something called Diploma Plus, where the goal is that our students will leave with not just a high school diploma, but with also either a professional certification or an associate's degree. Um, most of our work within district has been going towards relevance, making aligning curriculum so that our students are college and career ready, instruction so that our kids are college and career ready, not just from a content standpoint, but from like a social and emotional and those cognitive skills standpoint. Uh, Getting that student engagement in, we're solidly transitioning here, and technology. Technology, we're implementing transitioning. We're just because we're finally getting a lot of this stuff down. We're finally getting to where we're getting our technological resources to support what we've been talking about for several years. For uh, responsive culture, this year we've put a huge focus on that. So I'd say we're pretty solidly transitioning. We've had all these conversations around responsive culture in leadership, responsive culture in our students and families, and uh, especially since our district is having such a huge demographic shift. Um, we traditionally predominantly African American um, and Hispanic. We're seeing a huge influx of Southeast Asian um, uh, refugees and immigrants into our district. Especially at my school, we're seeing that shift very hard over the last couple of years. We went my first year 4 years ago. We were 70% African American. This year we're 51%, and we're seeing the Southeast Asian community grow. So because of that, we've been putting a lot of focus on being responsive culturally. I'd say for the most part we're implementing because just we're finally having these conversations formally as a district, but we've been having these conversations definitely in buildings for years. So On certain things, I could say we're definitely transitioning, probably on a couple of these, um, especially like this climate culture, we might be transitioning modeling. Rigor, we are pretty solidly transitioning. There are a few minutiae here where we're probably uh, just getting to just implementing. I know that for professional learning, we are solidly transitioning into modeling. This has been a huge focus in our district. Um, now, what I would do to kind of address this last question, those two things that we need for improvement, those two areas, is we definitely need to improve on our responsive culture and our rigor um, across the board, um, specifically for resources and data. And kind of my backup from the standards here is how I would approach it is doing a lot of collaboration. It's a very collaborative process that is data driven, and my standards that I use to back that up are standard 1B, uh, collaboration with members of schools and the community, using data to promote a vision for the school and successful learning development of each child, and on instruction and organization practices that promote such success. So going to the community, asking what we can do to make things better, and then using that along with data that we can collect to kind of inform what we do as a collaboration, not from the top down, but from all angles working together. Um, and then from a curriculum standpoint, um, I want to promote effective use of technology to support learning, so we can access the community doing using online polls, uh, keeping communication open through an online format. I think is the best way of going about that, and collaborating electronically using things like Google Docs. And of course, community of care and support for students, because the students are our main focus here. So we want to create an environment where each student is known and accepted and valued and trusted and respected and cared for and encouraged to be active and responsible. I think that is kind of the core of the 4Rs. Is putting a lot of more focus back on students and everything that we're doing professionally back on the students. I went over my time a little bit here, so I'm sorry about that, but really excited for the work we've been doing. So thank you.